lead your way. Keep your head up, you'll be okay. A beautiful day waiting for you. Just open your eyes, you'll see it's true. Good times, sunshine, gonna be here in no time now. Bad times, gray skies, push them all away, turn them upside down. You're gonna break new ground, turn everything around. You're gonna live your life.
Alright, welcome back to the Booga live stream. It is Thursday. We're on to large project night. We're going to be working on the chessboard. I got a little bit done. I didn't get a whole lot of time today in. I was hoping to get a little more than this done. I'm starting my first row here. So, it's kind of where we're at tonight. I'm going to real quickly share up my Thursday. I normally share to my personal page just because. I want to do it every day, but I want to do it at least once a week so personal friends can check it out and make sure they see it. Alright, I believe that is done, so gonna kind of go ahead and get started on it. Not really much more to say on it. I'm using bright silver, aluminum, and bronze, and I'm actually making a black border around it. I thought about, and should have, if I would have thought about it beforehand, got some blackened stainless steel to do as my edging, but you know, we'll go with this. It'll work just fine. I think it'll look just fine too. So we'll go ahead and get started here. A little bit more, and then we'll just kind of go into the single ring. But when we're kind of starting out here, I normally make a strip of 3. It's a European 6-in-1 weave, so fairly simple weave also, but gives you a little more oomph in it, I guess. And this one will definitely be a little heavier than my other boards, just because I'm using the bronze in this one. But I hope everybody's having a good Thursday. Getting closer near the end of the week, right? The fun of the weekend. It's gonna be a hot weekend here, though. Here, it's been getting hotter every day by about 2 or 3 degrees. So it's definitely warmer today out there. Though I did spend some time outside today. I got the took out my saws and everything, and I got all my wood cut up to make my Mahomes jersey stand. I've been putting off, and it's like I just need to get it done. So got out there today, got it all cut up. I'm going to put it together tonight after the stream, for the most part, and then tomorrow I'm going to go out there and get it sanded. Still debating on if I'm going to either stain it or go ahead and give it just a paint. I'm still kind of debating on that. And somebody had to open the door right as the stream started. Every time. And I can't let it stay too long. It's just too hot out there to let it all creep in, because even in the basement you get a little cooler, but it still warms up down here because there's really no return vents and stuff like that. So I think it was Buzz. We're going out this time because I think Marvel's still sleeping up on the deck. She'd been camping out up there today, just passed out, just hanging out. So they can live for a little bit. I mean, there's plenty of shade. They never come in hot anyway, so they know where the cool spots are. But I don't want it to get hot down here. It's always so hard to get it to cool back down. I do have a window unit I could put in down here that would help, and I've done that a few years, but running another air conditioner, you know, just gets a lot more expensive in an electricity bill. So, and being with the laser and all the drilling and stuff I've been doing, it's already given enough extra in that. Hopefully I'm decent enough on this other camera. I know I'm up far enough. But like I said, we got one more little chunk. We're moving on to the next bronze part here. We got 9 rings per square. And then the 2 edgings, so we're about done with this little strip. Like I said, wanted to get more done, but I started working on that. And I did have to pause during working on my jersey stand today, just because I was out there working on it, and I had a 2x4 slip off and slide down, and I wasn't thinking about it. I was like, it'll just fall, no biggie. But then it ended up catching my leg just perfect, so I got about a 2-inch area that just bled like crazy on the front of my leg where it grabbed it and ripped it open there. So I had to stop and put some boo-boo juice on it and wrapped it up real quick. And after I got done cutting up all my wood, took a shower, cleaned it up a little bit better, and put some more boo-boo juice on it. And it's not super bad, nothing I was too worried about going to the doctor for, but worse than a lot. I was kind of surprised. I was like, it's just a 2x4 hit me. How did it gouge me that bad? I did have a couple little splinters in it. Oops, I forgot to put my other rings in there. So that was kind of fun today. But I got everything cut up, like I said, and it should be fairly easy setup for the rest of it, putting it all together now that it's all cut up. And then decide, like I said, to stain or paint. I kind of like both ways. I normally like to stain wood, but these are just kind of 2x4s. They're not, you know, super great 2x4s. They're not pretty 2x4s. They're pretty naughty, you know. They're naughty 2x4s. There's some knots in it and stuff, but so it's like, if I stain it up, it still could look good stained. It'd be quicker to paint in a way. So I'll probably decide once I get it together. I'm probably gonna throw the jersey on it, see what it looks like, make sure it's all gonna work well with the jersey on, then look at it and decide, okay, as usual, I'm always debating until that last minute. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then I just pick one and go with it. It's about how I do everything when it comes to choosing and picking. Now I got that done. Got the trailer out so I can get into it and get it all set up. I mean, we still got a little more than a week before we go to our next event. First event of the year, I guess, but got it out and ready. I'll probably get out there tomorrow and get some more done on it. And I want to customize it. I'm not going to be doing it right now to hold my stuff a little bit better, but it'll do its job, that's for sure. It'll be much easier to take everything to events that way. So that part of it I am looking forward to. But other than that, not a whole lot went on today. Just kind of, I was wanting to get more of this done, but I cleaned up a little bit. I'm going through my stuff again, all the stock, and getting out stuff that needs to be, get tagged up and priced, because I've got a lot of new stuff since the last time we went that needs to get priced up and tagged up. Getting to the right spots and all that good stuff, so got that to go on. So I'm saying after probably tomorrow, maybe I'll do a little more chainmail on Saturday. But what am I doing? I'm gonna have most of my time will be getting just ready. You know, once I get it all set up for this first event, any more events will go along a lot smoother after that point, just because I'll have it all done now finally. Like I said, I've had this trailer for a while, just never got a chance to use it. Got it and everything kind of went to, got it in December, not this past December, but the year before, and then COVID came through, and so that kind of put a downer on everything with all the events canceling. Never got a chance to use it yet. Got it all tagged up and ready to go, and nowhere to go with it. About like the camper in a way, even though we've camped out a few times in it, just out in the back here, just to have fun. But hopefully we'll be able to get out and do some of that here soon too. A little hard to get out and travel much and do things like that though with the business. It's like business does take up a lot of time. I'm always trying to work on it and improve it and make things that people will like. You can kind of see I'm kind of doing the speed weaving in a way. I figured I'd go ahead and practice on it more whenever I'm doing strips like this. It kind of helps. I'm getting better at it, that's for sure. Speed weaving, I guess, raw, whatever you want to call it. It's opening one, putting two non-open ones, but they're not closed rings on it, and then come back and close them. So definitely getting a little better than I used to be with it. I haven't really practiced it in a while, but a lot of things I can't really do. I definitely don't like doing it on my bracelets and necklaces, just because I know I always miss rings, and I have to have somebody double check it, and so I just hate doing it on those things. But when I do strips like this, it's always a little bit easier to do it on. And maybe it will help later on, though, that I can do it into bracelets. Who knows? But, oh, I put another one in the center here. I did that again, crossing over here, so kind of confusing myself. I know it was. Oh, getting on through there. There's 3. Alright, I'll just do 2. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, then I'm going to take out that one. Plus I'm at the very end here. And earlier when I started on this, when I'm not doing the stream, I might have to get closer on this, because I will say that my bronze rings and my bright aluminum have been closing up really nice. Now I did make them, so I mean we'll say that just a little bit more, because they're my own rings that I coiled and cut, but the cuts are so much nicer than anything else that I buy. And let's open that a little bit further. There we go. Put that on the next one. I won't have that problem here when I start going into the singles, though. It'll be, 2 9 9 9 9 9 2, or I guess 8 9s, whatever. So it's basically an inlay, but a little simpler type of inlay per se, because there's not a lot of changing. There's only the 2 basic colors with a couple different, edging of 2 blacks on the ends. Each end will get 2 black rings, so I won't have any counting to do per se. So it should go a little quicker in that aspect. And the last 2 boards I did, they took about 26 hours, and it's basically the same weave, same ring size. So I imagine it's going to take about 26 hours. Did another. Keep grabbing the wrong one. Over here on the edge, I started, or in the edge of my table here, I started right out of room, so I had to curl my lines. So they're a little off, to say the least. So I'm grabbing the wrong ones. Less problem though, like I said, when I was sitting back, I normally kick back in this chair a little bit more and work more on the front side of my table. It's a little easier to do it that way. Quicker. Easier to see everything that's in front of me. Well, let me check everything real quick. We're about 15 minutes in. Seems about normal when I start checking. Looks like everything's going good. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we're just on to the very edges here. This is number 1, one more, and then we'll be done with this strip. Then we'll lay it out and start kind of doing the normal single. I mean, I could probably do more of 2 at a time. It does take a little bit longer in a way, but I haven't really timed out any difference on doing it that way, being that I don't have to worry about adding in extra colors and changing up so often. And it's just kind of 9 bronze, 9 silver, 9 bronze, 9 silver. A little easier to deal with that way, but we'll lay it out. Like I said, I don't even remember. I did get my counts of my ring counts, but I don't remember the exact size the board comes out to be. But it's fairly large. I mean, it'll fit nice big pieces. Eventually, I'll pull out the pieces and show them. And the bronze on those are already kind of patinaed, so they're a little darker, and they don't really match with the bronze on this right now. But I figure over time that will change, you know. So that's the end of that. So there's our stripu there. And next row we'll be going from right to left, so move it down a little bit. And that's how we're just going to kind of go switching. Pretty simple. Got all my rings up here ready to go, and go ahead and just continue. And we're going 3. That'll be the hardest thing to remember, is this is a 6-in-1, so I got 3 I gotta grab with each ring instead of 2, which I've done on the last many inlays now. And I skipped one already. No, I didn't. There it is. That one flipped over. I guess I need to pull this more over here so I can be more in view. But, you know, like I said, less counting time. That can take a little bit of extra time when you're working on an inlay. Just getting all the right rings out and doing a count. I can kind of count them. I don't need to, but it's pretty hard to not forget that it's just 99999 every time. Other than the last 2, I guess. But so I don't know, you know, how long this one will actually take. We'll just keep working on it on Thursday nights till it gets done. Being that I won't get much time in during the week to do any extra chainmail this next week, probably won't have really much done by the time we come back to it next Thursday. I'm kind of half tempted on delaying next Thursday's stream, just because, you know, the event coming up next day, Friday, is going to be a packing day. But I think I probably still will, just, you know, I like doing them, so. Plus, I'll have a lot less time during the week to do any. I'll be ready to, I'm sure, work on some, since, you know, I won't have as much time going in on them. Gotta remember 3. 1, 2, 3. So it'll still have a little bit of play, but not as much as the 4-in-1. See, I mean, already just here, there's not really much. There's wiggle, but not a lot of push together per se, like on the last inlays we were doing. That's why I kind of like it. I'll do my belts in 6-in-1. Makes a nice, wider, sturdier belt than a 4-in-1 weaved belt. Hammer time, ding dong. Oh, stupid finger. Buttermail makes me jealous tonight. What you doing? What you making tonight? Hammering 10 pounds. Overlapped mild steel myself. Cool. Nice to see you, John. We're working on the chessboard. Something I've kind of talked about a few different times. I've been wanting to get a chessboard done, and so that's what we're working on tonight. Probably the next several Thursdays as we get through it. Not going to get a lot of time in on it other than the streams here for this next week anyway, so getting ready for the event. But I hope you're having a good Thursday there. I wish it would say ding dong when I get a message. At least it still says a minute, so I didn't see it too late, I guess. Yeah, butted male is what it is. You know, I'll still have fun with it, but looking forward to doing some more welding now that I got kind of the weld station set up now. But 1, 2, 3. Just basic 6-in-1 weave here. And I have to say thank you too for those links you sent me yesterday. I spent a little while looking at different clasps and stuff, and I ended up getting one of those that you sent, and found some others too that I wanted to give a try. So I made a clasp order last night, and halfway through got another order to get some blackened steel, stainless steel. I need to finish it up. I was working on it before the stream, and I was like, oh, I gotta stop, I need to get the stream set up. So still got some more of that to do. Finish that order up tonight. Got another TRL order in earlier today before I went outside and cut up my wood to make my jersey stand. 3. You should make a 12G belt. Yeah, that would probably be pretty cool too. I mean, that would definitely be nice and sturdy. I've made 3 so far. They're fun. I normally use 16. I had one 14 one that was just all bright aluminum. I want to do a stainless steel, but I'm just worried about a stainless steel one being a little too heavy for a belt. I mean, most of the time you just build them for looks per se. I mean, they are functional. The bigger ones I did were functional. So I kind of got an 18 gauge one. I would consider it kind of a belt, but it's the top of the wife's skirt that I had made her, and it's held up pretty well though. But you know, it was a 6-in-1 weave too, and then went into Japanese. I guess it'd be 1, 2, 8 and 2, I guess. 3/16 and 5/16 inch rings. It's held up pretty good. She's worn it several times out to events and Renaissance Fair, and I'm still working on adding more to it. And there's a partially cut ring. Got a lot of them pulled out when I was doing my cleaning on them. Didn't get them all out of there though. Normally make the dancer style bells and swoops. Only one usable bell. Yeah. I've done the 3 regular belts that are, like I said, they're pretty usable. Sold 2 of them. Still got one, so I haven't built another one yet. And then the one for the wife's skirtish thing. It's kind of like, you know, it doesn't have any of the swoops down on it or anything like that. I thought about adding that later. It's all bright aluminum, but I was going to edge it in gold, and then I was half tempted on doing some little swoops to it. She doesn't really like the belly ones, or the ones with bells. Not a belly one. They can be noisy. Forget what they call those ones. The little scarfish style things. That's kind of what she had at first, and she liked it. And I was like, well, I'll make you one out of chainmail. And it kind of started as that, but it just keeps growing over time. So now it's become more of a skirt than a belt scarf thing. And what's nice is I can adjust the size whenever I need to. She's lost some weight, and so I've had to take out some and readjust. Which is much harder to do Oh, I skipped an area here. How did I do that? Dur, 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 dur. Yeah, I've seen some of your posts earlier today on the in India stuff, or whatever you were calling it, the riveted stuff that looked kind of thinnish, and then your others that you had done. I was like, man, I really want to. I really want to get the rest of my equipment so I could do some riveted mail, and that would be good for some of the outdoor events that I go to. I could kind of set up and do some of that there too. I think would entice people to come in and look at stuff, since it'll be fire and hammering. Fire will always bring them in. Import Indian made rings, yeah, that's what it was. Passed through it real quick. When I was making my quick runs through Facebook, I just didn't have much time today to really spend much time on Facebook, and picture looking, was outside getting stuff done and tearing my leg up. It's still kind of stingy after putting the boo-boo juice on it. I'll probably have to look at it again here in a little bit tonight and make sure everything's cleaned up in it. I don't think it needed to go see the doctor, but I'll keep an eye on it, because it's about a 1/4 inch wide by about 2 inches deep, or 2 inches long, and I said the little stupid thing bled like crazy for a while. It took a while to get the bleeding to stop. But there's really no meat. I mean, it was right on the front side where your leg and the bone is, so I mean, there's not a lot of meat there to begin with. Yeah, I knew I skipped another one as soon as I was closing it. But easy enough to come back in and put it in there. One more. And then we switch colors again. Or material, I guess, in this one. And like I said, I don't really need to count them, but I'm just trying to keep the desk a little cleaner right now. Definitely a little odder going back and forth between bronze and bright aluminum because of the spring back difference, and then just the hardness. I really, brass was always, it seemed pretty equal to me to aluminum, but the bronze is definitely a lot tougher. Wasn't expecting that. I had worked with bronze, but in smaller gauge to begin with, number one, and smaller rings, so kind of threw everything off a little bit. Still debating on if I want to naturally let this patina, or do I want to do, stuff to it to get it to darken up quicker. I think a natural look would probably be better. Just don't know how long it will actually take. I guess it'll depend on the weather that it's in. Could just hang it up outside for a few weeks. That'd weather it quickly. So I used to have some stuff that you could do that with, but I ran out years ago, and I was like, At the time, I was like just playing with doing it on copper, crap copper wire from dead soft stuff that you can make rings out of it and play with it. But again, that was the kind of stuff that just doesn't hold up very well. You start swinging it around, it'll start opening up on its own. And it's fun to play with dead soft wire, but there's just when it comes to chainmail, it doesn't really work for you. But it's still fun to play with. Pearl. try things. Then when you get mad at it, it's easy to beat up. I don't know if you've ever done that to a piece. I've had a few times where I've just... Well, I didn't really beat it up, but the last two keychains I worked on last week that I put in stainless, I mean, I ended up having to put different key rings on them because I welded them and everything, and I was just wanting to test everything, and I was just pulling. I ended up mangling my key rings themselves, and nothing happened to the keychain itself. It was like, man, it's a nice and sturdy keychain. I almost want to keep it for myself. But I'm not into keychains myself. I have kind of just a big ring that holds all my keys and a spark plug gapper on it. But I'm half tempted. I know the son liked it. I built him one that's same weave, same style, length, and everything, but out of aluminum. And he felt the weight of the stainless. He said, "Ooh, I like that one." Well, and the wife last night almost confiscated the dragon scale that I did last night during the stream. She's like, "Ooh, this fits perfect. I want it. You said you hadn't made me anything." I didn't realize they were watching the stream last night. And she was like, "You said last night you hadn't made me anything in a while, so I could keep this one." I was like, "No, I'll make you another one. But I need to have this for inventory for this weekend, next weekend." So it looks like I've got another dragon scale bracelet I'm going to have to do. And then it's actually 6 rows. Crap, I wonder, where's my paper at? I believe it's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. 7 rows by 9 rings. Seems to make a pretty decent square. Oh man, my drink is way over there too. How did I do that? Can't believe I left it way over there. Well, I was running behind, like I said, tonight. Once got done cutting up the wood and everything, I have to clean up the wound and get all the tools put back up before it got dark, obviously, because it's almost dark by the time I get on the stream here. I kind of got a little behind on everything. At one point, I was actually thinking, I might have to make a post that I'm going to have to start streaming a little later tonight, but got caught up pretty quickly, at least enough, so. I don't want to start late. Rather start on time and end a little early if need be, but we should be able to go in a good hour and a half tonight without any issues. As long as I don't drink too much. And I did get some titanium balls ordered today. Also, want to do some of the is it Jennifer's at Steampunk Garage? She's got those little pendants she does out of those. And that's kind of why I got them. I got some stainless steel ones. I'm gonna make some out of stainless steel, but I wanted some titanium ones that I could or not etch up, but anodize up and have some different colors of those. So I got a bunch of balls coming. Probably close near 100 between all of the sizes I got. I won't use them all right up, but got some small enough. Hopefully I can make like a necklace pendant with an earring set to match it. That's kind of the plan. Hopefully the plan works. We'll see. About like every other plan. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let me check over there. Where are we at here? A little over half an hour. Stream looks to be going well. Don't see. Looks like I got 2 or 3 viewers between the Twitch and the I skipped one again. YouTube's. It reminds me, if you're watching this later, I think I've only got John over here on Facebook right now, but if you're watching it later and you got accounts on Twitch or Facebook, go over there, give us a like, subscribe, get notices. Though I will say Facebook's noticed here in the last 2 weeks, actually, I haven't had any problems with. I'm getting pretty quick pop-ups letting me know that the stream's going live. 479. There for a while, it was I had to wait a day before it'd say I was going live. It's like, you're a little late there, Facebook. So they've been doing better lately, so I'll at least give them that. But you can always watch us over on YouTube, or, you know, that's what the wife and daughter do when they watch me upstairs. They end up using the TV YouTube app and watch me through there. So they can watch it full screen, I guess. Make fun of me. I always like to make fun of me after a stream that they've watched. 200 smash flat so far. Sweet. Are you heating them up before you do it, or are you just going cold smash? I've heard some people doing them both ways, so I figured I was going to do the heated way. Heat them up to do it, but wondering how they're working on the... Haven't seen no videos on a cold. Doing it cold, but I have read people doing it cold. All the videos that I've watched on YouTube on doing them have always been heating up and then putting them on. I mean, they're not like glowing, but they got some heat in them. Almost done with row number 1, or I guess row 4. Since the first 3 were in a strip. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 9. That's right. Mile still just ding next to ding next. Stainless, brass, copper, I do it. Red heat, yeah. And maybe that's what they were using. I don't remember what materials they were using when they were talking about doing a cold smash. Cold hitting. We don't need 2 of these. If that's mild, it would be a lot easier. Not needing to be heated up to do. Platinum 1 hit. They're a little toasty from the force. Yeah. Oh, I could see that. I mean, you gonna rivet those up? Down over there. There's another row done. This should go fairly quickly, like I said, other than I have that paper. Can I see it from here? I guess total ring count when I'm done will be 4,560 rings. Almost evenly spaced. I think I got about a 500, a little over 500 of the black rings, and then each color was a little over 2,000. Where is it? 2016? Yeah. Brass, 2016, bright aluminum. goal. Let me see, I missed one here. Tomorrow I drill them all out. Cool. So you're going to drill them, not punch them out. Probably be quicker and easier just to drill than using a punch to punch in the... Oh, I went through 2 on that, dummy. Come on, let go. Let go. Let my ringy go. What was after that? The goal is to see if I still have my skill in my 20s to make rivets. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I would have gotten more into doing it as a business and getting proper materials when I was younger. It would have made things so much nicer. Would have done it so much more. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2 more. Drilling is ideal, but I have a faster way to drill. Cool. Yeah, I was like, I got a punch where I could do it, but then it's like, well, when I really get into it, would I rather drill? Because I'm sure it'd be faster. But not doing it, don't know yet till you actually get in there and actually do it. And I was actually going through the band stuff again last night, got everything else updated, need to get updated, and I started looking and I was like, man, October is going to be crazy. Works out where we really won't have to pause any of my streams, but there are several Friday night football games, Saturday competition. One week there's a Tuesday competition, Friday football game, Saturday competition. I was like, ugh. Yeah, I got 4 of them. Basically every weekend in October's pretty much got something going on. So if I can find an event that I can get into, I will cancel one of my band events to do it, but I don't normally set up a whole lot in October for events for this, because I'm doing the band stuff, and I know that's always the busiest month, but this is going to be a crazy October this year. 2 marching competitions are kind of far away, about 2-hour drives. One's a 2-hour, one's a 3.5 hour, I think. The other 2 are at least somewhat close. One of them is like 45 minutes up the highway one way, the other one's about 35 minutes the other way, so those will be somewhat decent, but I will have some traveling going on here, so I will be taking some chainmail with me. I'll go videotape their stuff, and while we're sitting around waiting for judging or to see if they make finals, then I'll be sitting over by the car just working on some chainmail. Counting properly. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cool. Just have to remember to start switching over my block colors when I get to after 7. That'll be the next thing to remember. I'll probably screw up and realize I did it after I got in a few and have to take them out. As usual. Oh, come here. Hey, got some of those S beaners, I guess they were calling them, is when I look closer at them. Got me 2 sets of those. Found some more closed up screw style like I was showing last night a little bit. What else did I end up getting with that? I got another style. And then, well, I did make another order of some sublimation keychains to work with my vinyl and heat press. I mean, that's kind of the side thing, not really related to chainmail, other than they use a plastic clip to clip onto the keychain part, and I'm like, I'm just going to end up using some stainless steel rings to change that out. I just feel more comfortable with it than a little plastic thing. Forgot I got those. Took me. I knew there was something else. Still waiting on my stupid drill though. It's supposed to be here Monday. The other one's still kicking, but I want to replace it, and I'm gonna make a different holder for it. A little more sturdy of a holder than what I currently have on the one I'm using. So I'll probably have to put that off anyway. I guess it doesn't really matter if I didn't get it done early this week. It's just gonna have to wait till after the event, where I'll have a little more time. I have 11 Benzetine 8-inch 12G bracelets made up for my ladies' fair. Sweet. You ever get a price you're going to do on those? I'm sure they'll probably sell pretty well, though. Are you going to be there so you can make adjustments, or are you just selling them as is? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's what I've been doing it more. When I first started, I was making them in different sizes, and after a while, and having to build on them, it was like, I'm just making everything 8-inch. If I need to shrink it down, it's much easier to shrink down than make them bigger at an event. Other than if it's stainless, those all going to have to be custom ordered, because especially if it's welded, just because you can't really. I guess I could take the welder along, but then you got to worry about everybody else walking around with you're sitting there with a welder and blind people. About the same reason why I couldn't take my CO2 laser with me. I have been half tempted to take my diode lasers with me, where I could do some smaller things, but I just don't want to run into problems with insurance issues with having that, and making sure it's all blocked off and all that. So it's like I'll just have to do custom orders when it comes to those things. No clue what to price them. Nope, as is 8-inch. Yeah, that's hook. Likely 30-40 per price, so it's being clip cut. Sweet. Yeah, I'm being stainless. Stainless will always be higher price for sure than aluminum. I mean, even the aluminum pieces can get up there depending on the weave and what you're doing with them and how many, everything it takes. But yeah, I'm hoping within a week or two after this event, I'm gonna try to do some anodizing of the titanium balls I got coming, and then my niobium rings that I've been having sitting around for a while. Figured I'm gonna take one of my nights and do some anodizing instead. I might make it on a Monday, because I'm having a conundrum when it comes to my medium night projects. Everything I want to do, I try to make it a medium project, something I only work on during that night, but I end up working on it besides that night, so it actually becomes kind of a short project in a way. Start anodizing, cost of rings better, use coat hangers and drop discount spools of welding wire, so it's time, not material. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much how I kind of do it. Like I said, I got a little Excel format that I can put in rings, and it's got all the different sizes and all that, and different materials, and then a time estimate, and it just kind of spits me out a price. And that's what I go with. I do go in and adjust whenever, I have to adjust for however much something costs. That's what kind of sucks on some things, because some people like some of the other colors, the odder colors that I got, but I get them from a different supplier, so you know, it's like I don't want to raise the price up of the other ones to match that price because I only do those in a few of those that way. Pricing's always a booger. It drives me nuts. Though I do have to raise up most of my prices. I was charging $10 an hour, and I know I need to do more than that. I didn't want to go too crazy, but... And then the PIA account when it comes to niobium or anything like that, and then if you add in welding, that's just so much more time involved in doing that. It's hard with $140 20G welded benzene next to a 40 butted 12G. And some folks mind, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's like, it's not that I'm trying to get you or anything, it's just kind of how it works out, you know. It takes longer because I'm welding or something, you know, or smaller gauge or smaller rings. And generally, you're using twice as many rings, so it's taking twice as much time to build it. If you throw in welding on top of that, you know. That's why, you know, some people look at some of the inlays and go, man, that's kind of, well, it's like when I've had a few inquiries on my jersey, and they're like, I tell them the price, and they kind of ghost you. All right, I had one was like, yeah, I don't think I could do that. And I was like, well, if you spend 175 hours on it, what would you want from your job for working 175 hours? So... kind of how I put it to them. If you know, how much would you want to get paid if you worked 40 hours at your job? It took me 40 hours to build it. You see where I'm going? What I try to tell them. Plus, you know, when you're selling at events and stuff like that, and if you have a registered business and it's not just like a side hobby type thing, there's, you know, overhead. You know, you got to pay to get into these events. They're not free. You got to pay to be there. You got, you know, some of them require insurance that you have to have. Then you've got just overhead at home by getting everything you got, plus, you know, electricity for when you're doing welding. It's like, you know, it's not just ring cost. There's a lot more cost in it just besides rings and just, you know, labor cost. I mean, you gotta make sure you get all that covered, because you start charging not enough for stuff, you know, and then your overhead costs, you start taking that out of it, and next thing you know, I made $1 an hour last week. Woohoo! Can't really keep in business at $1 an hour or make a living. So you gotta be able to make a living if you. That's why, you know, some of this stuff, you know, you'll find cheaper out there because they do it more as a hobby. So that's cool and everything, but it does kind of, you know, when somebody sees that $20 item here and a $40 same item for $40, difference is one's making a living and they have a business and overhead costs, compared to somebody that's just kind of doing it as fun on the side, and they're just wanting to recoup their costs so they can kind of do more. I mean, I want to do that too, but I gotta, if I want to keep selling and make a living at it, you know, all the time and years that you spent in learning the craft too. I mean, you don't really charge for that, but, you know, find somebody that's been doing it for few months compared to somebody that's been doing it for a few years, there's going to be a definitely quality difference. Insurance costs selling weapons, nightmare. Oh, I'm sure. I couldn't imagine what it would be for something like that. It's already high enough for not having that. 6, 7, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's why, you know, I was saying the other night, you know, I don't ever have really sales because I already think that my prices are within reason, that I don't really do sales, because I've had people ask me that before. when you do Christmas sales and all that, and it's like, no, I really don't like doing that kind of thing. I think my prices are low enough that, you know, I don't want to overcharge right off the bat. So I don't really do sales. I've done deals here and there if you're buying multiple items, and I mean that's a little different. Because you know I have some regulars that come by. Since we haven't had events in a while, it's been a while since I've seen them, but they'd normally show up just knowing I was going to be in an event, just to come see what's new, and you know they're getting, you know, 4, 5, 6 things at a time. You know, I'll give you somewhat of a deal there. But most times I just don't like doing sales. I'm like, to me, if I can put something on sale, then I'm overcharging the rest of the time. I sell forged weapons, yeah. I'd love to be able to do that. The wife and the son, they like watching that Forged in Fire, and I'll catch it here and there. I don't sit down and watch it because I'm just... Most shows I never really sit down and watch. I just kind of listen to them. But that one, it's caught my eye for the last several years, and I'm just watching it going, man, I'd love to have that. I'd love to have that. I'd love to be able to try some forging. I might not be any good at it, but it would be fun to try. That's why I was like, I need to find people that do it so I can, like, befriend them. Can I come over and play? It looks like it'd be fun. It definitely looks like it'd be some work, though. I mean... you know, work doesn't necessarily scare me. I can get worn out, but just be able to learn it, see if it's something that's cool, just to partially just say that I have tried it, but I think I'd enjoy it, though. I like to be able to create nothing from something. That's how I've always been. Used to have a wood shop business with me and a buddy of mine we did for years, and it was fun stuff. I loved working in wood. And the place where we were doing it all at, we just they sold that shop area, so we couldn't really work in that shop anymore, and we didn't really have any place else to go at the time, so we kind of stopped doing that, and that's kind of when I started going more into the chainmail business instead of a hobby. But I definitely like creating something from nothing. Just start running a knife class on the weekends. That'd be cool. I definitely would like to learn some of that. I've watched, like I said, those shows, and then I've watched a lot of videos on forging on YouTube. Sometimes when I'm just sitting there vegging for a while, you know, go see how they do. And I mean, I kind of got the basics of how everything works. I'm sure the first things I do would probably be crap, but it'd be fun just to sit there and beat on some metal for a while. I think it'd be good for the anger. Be able to beat on some metal. Back in the days when I was a manager at McDonald's back in my 20s, it was kind of fun to go beat on French fry boxes. Go in the freezer and just start pounding away on some French fry boxes. That could release so much tension very quickly. You don't have time for another hobby. That is true. That is so true. Well, that's why I'd just like to kind of try it. I'd hate to love it, because then I'd want to do it more. That's for sure. But it's definitely something I'd like to try. I don't think they probably don't have any place like that. I know we got a marble place here in town, gone to when the kids were younger and stuff, where they kind of, you didn't necessarily get to, I mean, there were some glasswork classes you could take, which I wanted to do really bad through them. But just watching them do that was just kind of cool too. I was like, I want to try that too. So I still haven't done that yet either. Maybe one day again. Running out of years though. Running out of years quickly. 6, 7, 8, 9. Cooking. Anger is no good in the forge. Taking precision timing and cooking temps like cakes. If you get mad easy, the Forge is not a good place with fire and heat. Well, I guess it's just more thinking about pounding on the metal. I mean, I guess there is a technique you'd have to do to it, but not so much that you would take it out on it, but it would just relieve tension. Even, I mean, if you're doing it precisely, it can still just, you know, the constant swinging and banging and stuff kind of release all that in a precise way, I guess. Yeah, I guess you wouldn't want to go willy-nilly on it, just kind of pounding it whichever which way. Oh, didn't see the white post up there. Missed that. Yeah, I used to decorate cakes too. Again, making something from nothing. I was actually started doing that in high school. Did a few wedding cakes. Actually had a wedding cake order when I was it my senior year? Yeah, I think it was my senior year. And we actually had a band competition the same day. It was a state competition, and I had to find a friend's mom. I think it was her grandma ended up taking it up for me, because it was like, I got this day, I can get the cake done. And so yeah, I've kind of done a little bit of everything. And I think that would have been in my junior year probably, because my senior year I had cooking class, and that was one of my projects, was doing a freaking cake for the class as our demonstration in my senior year. Hammer vents are hard to get out when you're making them too thin. Oh yeah, I can see that happens on the Forged and Fire show often, where they've kind of overdone it sometimes. But I mean, they are rushed. That's one thing I don't like about the show. That's kind of why I like watching some of the YouTube stuff, because you know that they're taking their time, not rushing. In Forged and Fire, you got time limits and all that, and that's something I wouldn't want to do. It's like, I don't want to have a time limit. Let me take my time and make it right. Another row almost done. More white ones. Sean has put in his order. Chainmail and fire. Well, I mean, that'd be riveting. Mail would kind of be that in a way. Oh, I hear a cat scratching on the door. You're gonna have to wait, kitty kitty. You know what time it is. And you still got a good little while. What time is it? 8:30. So we're an hour in. Yeah. Yeah, you still got a good hour before you need to get fed and get your shot done. So you can wait. The axe that Uther had in the Last Kingdom. Well, he can learn at the same time too. He can make his own. Try to get him to do chainmail, but he didn't want to have anything to do with doing chainmail. At least I got one. The youngest daughter kind of did it, knows what it takes to do it. She doesn't do it, but she does. She did try and give it a chance. Let's see, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. The thing I haven't watched a ton of that show, but they're always, you know, the master forgers and stuff. I almost wish we had that in chainmail. It'd be nice to be able to have a process you can go through to become and have the titles. as they do in forging in chainmail. That would be something I'd like to see. I've actually said that a few times when I watched the show with the wife. I wish they'd kind of do that in chainmail so that there were, you know, you could kind of get those titles and let people know, you know, instead of, you know, the average hobbyist is different than the, I don't necessarily want to say professional, because I would never say professional for myself in it, but I guess that's what you could say. Trishawn with a hammer. President of the United States, kitty cat is what I hear when your cat's complaining that. Yeah. Well, I'm sure they're out there complaining about me now. Won't let me in. And, yeah. I don't necessarily trust Sean with a hammer, you know, being real close to me around windows. It's, you know, I'd be more worried about him being able to have a grip on a hammer. He has like no fingers print. I mean, he's got a fingerprint, but his hands are, it's so weird. He's got the smoothest fingers ever. It's the strangest thing how smooth his fingers are. And you see the fingerprint, but when you feel it, you know, normally you can, I don't know how he picks anything up with those fingers. Starla wants a baby friction fold knife. You're the definite professional. Nowhere there's skill at any point requires your living. That's professional, sir. Well, thank you, I guess. I don't know. It seems a little weird, but I guess it's my profession. But, I mean, there's still a lot of skills I'd like to pick up in chainmail in itself, and that's why I think it'd be kind of cool to kind of have things like that, so you could... Why am I off? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess I just didn't pull out enough rings. Have that kind of certification, per se, would be kind of nice to kind of have in the chainmail community. Because, I mean, there are quite a few of us out there, and I kind of look at it the same way. There's probably, you know, there's a lot of people that forge and stuff, too. But it would be, you know, just kind of cool to be able to... But, I mean, it's not like everybody goes around forging and not everybody goes around chainmailing. That's for sure. Because, like I said, most time, I don't get a whole lot of people that know what chainmail is. They, you know, when you start talking about it, they're like, oh, yeah, I've seen it in a show, but that's about all they know of chainmail. And there's a lot to actual chainmailing. It can be simple, and there are some simple things, but there's quite a bit to learn, and I'm sure I'll die without learning half of it. Require a guild to create codes of ethics. Yeah, that's kind of what I'd like to see. I think that would be kind of cool, and I was actually surprised when I started kind of looking into that part. They're kind of, in a way, I guess, if you make battle armor type things that are actually used. I don't remember all the different names they had out there for those. I've never really gotten into that portion of it. I just like doing the chainmail. But it would be kind of, you know, they have those guilds and stuff, but they're not really... I don't even know what word to call it. They're not necessarily accredited or anything. They're just kind of what they set up. But it'd be cool if we could get a chainmail kind of guild going that had tests, per se, to become a master chainsmailman or something. Mailman. That didn't sound right. A master mailman. But I kind of assumed there was when like I said, when I've done it for years, but I didn't think about looking online for stuff till I finally did, and then it was nice to see what I could find, but then there were some things I was kind of like, I'm surprised that's not a thing. What did I do there? I did it on both those. Gotta fix that in a second. Let me grab a drink. Local Blacksmith Guild has title for the mailers. Huh. Did not know that. It's like after knife maker is file maker, and it takes all the skills of the knife maker, then some, to get a true file. And I guess that kind of makes sense. I never thought about looking at it that way and seeing about anything like that. Let me go back and fix these. I got both of those are messed up. Come on, get in through there. Here we go. Yeah, I did the first two black ones. I did 4-in-1, and then I went back to 6-in-1 for some dumb reason. Here we go. Alright, back to where we were. Pile is 1,000 knife blades. Yeah, I wonder how they could set up things like that for chainmail. I was talking about sometime, was it last week, kind of wondering how many millions of rings I've actually done over all this time. It's like I don't even know how to count. I mean, I kind of get rough, but then there's so many other things outside of what I could easily find out that I just have to guesstimate. Alrighty, 3,679. What we got here? Around 11, so we're getting there. We'll probably finish up this row here in the next 20 minutes, I'm sure, hopefully. Oh, I did forget to pull out the other one. I did mean to pull out my Batman checkerboard to show what it will kind of be like when I'm done. But I totally forgot to grab that today. I'll have to try to, well, next Thursday I'll have it packed up ready to go to the event, so I won't be able to pull it out then, maybe the week after that. I do have pictures of it. I guess I could just kind of turn it on in the camera and say, show those pictures. It's not the same though in picture, and that's why I like pulling them out. And they're fun to just play with. Kind of like the other inlays. And like I said, there's definitely a lot less movement being 6-in-1, even though you're using larger rings. You can kind of squish it up, but it doesn't squish up as much as the 4-in-1 and 1/4 inch. So one day I'll have to find a blacksmith around town. They used to have quite a bit at our local Renaissance Festival, forging places that had swords and knives and everything, but the last, I don't know, 5-6 years, there's only been like 2. It's kind of odd. I remember the first time I went back in the day, boy, there was just a bunch of them, and now there's just very few of them. Really cool stuff. There's some other places that have some knives, but I don't know. I often wonder if those places, because they don't talk about anything about forging and making their own knives, if they just bought them to sell at their booth, because, I don't know, it just didn't seem like, compared to the other ones that were just strictly, that's what they had, you know, type thing. They have more of the kid sword places now with the wooden swords you can buy, and it's like, I want to see the real ones, but I mean, they are quite expensive to buy a nice sword that's handmade. I mean, they're going to get pretty pricey. And I expect them to be, just, you know, knowing what it takes to do it, I expect them to be pretty pricey. Legal issues could be too. It could be. They put so many restrictions on all that stuff anymore. It's crazy. And it's like I got some pocket knives that I do laser etching on. They're wood on the outside that I can made to do laser etching on and stuff. And I gotta be careful I don't take those to any events really with me. I pretty much just sell those online for laser etching, and then I can't ship them out of the country either, so because I guess up into Canada, I had a guy up in Canada wanted to get one, and they had all kinds of rules on what you could actually send there knife wise, and because it's a folded blade, and if you can flip it open, there was rules against it on how far it has to be, how far open it can be before you can flip it open the rest of the way, you know. And I was just like, you know, I didn't want to deal with that headache. I hate to say that, but it was for the racing team, and it would have been great to be able to get him one, but yeah, I got so many regulations on any of that stuff. And then all these other events here, that's why I won't take one with me. I'd like to show them off, because they're actually not bad knives. I mean, they are just kind of pocket knives. They're not bad knives. But, just, you know, you can't take anything crazy like that, or even sometimes, you know, can't even have pictures of it and stuff, so that's why I don't do any of my dog tags or anything with anything that's got ammo, knives, guns related, so I don't even have to worry about it. Even though they're just pictures of it, you know, I still got rules on that. Sporting equipment prop. Wall hanger. Yeah, I guess he was telling me that he's had a few done before if I took it apart and I could ship it in pieces in 2 separate shipments, and I was like, I don't want to take it apart and have to put it together. I mean, I guess if you enjoy that, but again, I just didn't want to, you know, screw up anything for the business, because, you know, shipping that way, and it's like I'd rather just play it safe. And I was like, one day you ever visit the States or I visit Canada, I'll get you one, because he is on our racing team, so. I was actually hoping to go in September up into Canada, meet up with David and, oh man, the other guy that did the jersey up there in Canada, done a football jersey. We were going to try to get a jersey crowd together and try to get a bunch of people that made sport jerseys, and meet up and go to a Riders game, I think it was. And I just don't think it's going to end up happening still this year. Just so much craziness going on. Would have been cool, though. I'd like to meet up with some other chain mailers, and I'd love to go down to that Florida event they've been having there for a while. I don't think they had it this past year, but the chainmail meetup would be really sweet to get to one year. I'd love to do that and just meet some of these other people I've chatted with and stuff on all the Facebook pages, and see them in real life. And I'm not super active in there, but a lot of them I remember their names, or I remember who they are. Sometimes I guess I do have trouble remembering names of people. He'd be another one I'd like to meet up with. Yeah, and Joshua out there in California. I'd like to meet up with Sean, Jennifer. I'd like to see Hannibal King, Lisa, Ellis. There's quite a few that I'd like to meet up and say hey to. There's just not a whole lot of chain mailers here in the Midwest. I've noticed that a bit. There's a lot of hobbyists in the Midwest that I've seen, but there's only really a handful that I know of here locally, but, you know, like Amanda locally, but I don't think she's part of any of the chainmail sites or anything like that. So she just kind of does her own thing, I guess. And Do more here. Where we at? I might not quite get this road done. I thought I would, but then I started talking more, and like I said, the more I talk, the slower I work. Yeah, and then doing the stream, I'm always looking around, checking for comments, make sure the stream's hitting and not crapping out on me and all that. Plus, I like to give my hands a little bit of a break, because I will normally do 20-30 minute sessions. Sometimes I'll push to 45 session, then I'll take, a 20-30 minute break, then come back in and do some more. Depending on what size I'm working with, sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it can be a little less, depending on the weave, ring size, all that good stuff. 8, 9. And I do got to get my drone all. I'm gonna get my drone out this weekend too. Get it prepared for next week's band camp. It's been a while since I've flown it. So we've been getting so busy with everything else, really haven't had a chance to get out and do too much. And well, I didn't want to get out too many places with all the COVID stuff, or I didn't want to get into any kind of crowds. And the drone can bring people around, that's for sure. But I do need to get it up and tested and get everything updated on it, so I'm going to have to do that this weekend at some point too. Because I haven't done an update to it since October. I think I've flown once since October. So I'm sure there's plenty of updates I'm going to have to put into that thing. So I can do some of that inside, but most of the time you gotta have the GPS outside working, or it won't give you all your updates. It'll just give you the inner updates, but you need to have all the map updates, because of all the restrictions of flying. I kind of miss the old days when I first started flying. That I've always kind of been into RC stuff, and I've done a lot of flying of airplanes back in the 90s with no restrictions, and then got my first drone 6, 7, 8 years ago now. There were some restrictions, so it wasn't too bad, but then they just keep adding on more and more and updating less flying zones. And one year I could fly down where the football was playing. I was able to fly down there, and then last year they rezoned it and could no longer fly the drone down there. So I'm glad the school finally built their own football field this year, so I don't have to worry about that. It's in an opener. It's close. I think I'm limited to 300 feet there, compared to 400 to 500 feet in other places. But I do need to get it tested and get it ready for the season. There's definitely going to be probably a little bit more drone work this year, because I think the directors liked seeing the videos last year of the drone, the angle you can get, and see forms better, and let the kids know where they need to fix things and whatnot, compared to when you're watching it on the field, or even just a camera angle up in the stands. You get that very top view, you can get really nice shots that look really cool. So I'll probably be doing a lot of Tuesday nights. It's Tuesday night, they have practice every Tuesday when school starts, and I normally go up to those and get video for them, so I'll probably be droning a lot on Tuesdays. One of the reasons why I didn't set up a stream night for Tuesday was because I knew that would be happening. And then again on Friday with football games. Let's see here. I might be able to get this finished. We'll probably finish up about the same time. 9 o'clock will come along and I will be finishing up. Maybe I'll get surprised and Sean will show a stream tonight. He was saying that, hoping he'll catch my stream one night and hear me talking about it. Alright, come on Sean, get your stream going again. It's always nice when I get done, give my hands a break, and watch yours for a little bit, do the cat, and give him a shot, finish watching yours, and working on something. You haven't done one in a while, have you, John? I haven't seen you put any videos up. Well, quick ones, I guess, but not the streaming videos. You did a few there, but I haven't seen them lately. I could be missing them, though. Seems like I only catch about half your posts on my wall. Try to go in and say follow and all that so I can see them all, but it's like when I start looking through my wall of Facebook, it's like, here's a post of a friend, here's 3 ads, here's 3 other videos that you might like. Oh, here's another person that said something 2 hours ago. Here's another 4 ads. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So like most of my time, half the wall is just ads and videos that it says I might like. And every time I'll go in and say, hide ad, do not see this ad again. And then, in a month's time, they change their name or start a new ad campaign, so it just starts the process over again. Here lately, I've been getting all kinds of, you might like to watch this video type things. Some of them are okay, but, most of the time I won't even watch them there. I'd rather find them on YouTube. Because, well, on Facebook, boy, they gotten bad about watching a video on Facebook. You better be prepared to getting into like 3 minutes into it, and here comes an ad. 6 minutes later, here's another ad. 3 minutes later, here's another ad. So that's one reason why I stopped watching a lot of videos on Facebook anymore, just because they keep pausing to show me videos or showing me commercials for this or that. Drives me nuts. Like I've talked about that before. Get Wendy's US. Wendy's North Oak, Wendy's Kansas City, Kansas. I'm just Wendy's of this, Wendy's of that. It's like I don't want any Wendy's ads, okay? Just stop showing me Wendy's ads. I block them all, and then next month gotta block them again. There's the other one. Oh, Nissan was bad. Nissan is with this person or that person. It's like every time I block Nissan, but not Nissan with this one, or Nissan with that. And it's like, I know they got to make their money, but man, when it's just so many ads, it just drives me bonkers. It takes me twice as long just to catch any friends' new posts real quick. I have to scroll down so much more than just seeing their posts, so I could go on my way. We got 2 more here, and we're in 1:26, so we will probably go ahead and start wrapping up. Kind of give this a stretch out here, and like I said, it's not going to be very big. I'm going to use a little bit more on the ringies just because it's 6-in-1 compared to others, and there's that. So that's kind of how wide the chessboard will actually be. Let's see here, I'm at 4 and about 19, so it's about 15, 14 and a half. Sounds about right on how my other one was. And it pretty much will come out square once I'm done. If it works out the same way as the other, and it should. I mean, same ring sizes and all that, so I don't see why it would be any different. But probably won't get much into it done before next Thursday. I might get a little bit, but like I said, I'm going to be very busy getting set up for our event. So I'll have a lot less time into it, but once we get done with the event, I'll get some more going. Go ahead and do that. But I do thank everybody that stopped in. It was good to see you again, John. I think we might have had a few other people pop in here and there. Still showing I got 2 over on Twitch, so never get comments on the Twitch, but thank you all if you're over there on Twitch watching me. Same with YouTube. I don't think I had anybody on YouTube tonight. At least no comments on YouTube, but I want to thank everybody that stopped by and watched any of these. It's great to have you in, stopping in. If you say something, great. If not, that's cool too. And if you're watching later, I thank you all for watching videos later. So we're going to go ahead and call it good for tonight, and it's Thursday, so we'll be back next Monday. we'll be back on Monday night at 7:30 Central Time. So you all have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.